Huh? Oh, did I forget to mention it before? Just to be on the safe side, I dressed as Master Mask. And then, I descended upon the office of the CEO of KB Security.
Whoa!
Hey, did you know about this? You never told me this.
I mean, every time we saw him, he was wearing that costume, like, including now, but I guess now we're getting confirmation that he wore it even then? Which, I mean, it kind of makes me question why. I mean, he truly is passionate about his identity and offering a good show. I don't recall him ever mentioning it to me either.
Even I didn't know that. It seems our little friend really loves to keep secrets.
I'm sorry. I just never had the chance to mention it up until now. Wait. That's not right. You know how sometimes just like...
Huh. My sixth cup of coffee is staring at me coldly. At any rate, we cannot ignore this new piece of information. Witness, please correct your testimony.
I'd have been killed if I hadn't been wearing my Master Mask costume. Ba-da, bang. Why were you dressed up as Master Mask? Why? Because I'm Master Mask, of course.
What are you talking about? Master Master's trial is being held next door.
Oh, yes, I guess so. Anyway, at that time, I thought I was being blackmailed over the Master Mask issue. So I thought I should go as him, just to be safe.
Oh boy.
Let me tell you, it's a real pain to move around with that cape. That's why it took a lot longer than I expected.
Took a lot longer?
What is he talking about? What do you mean by took a lot longer? Oh, opening the safe, of course. Oh, I see. So you were preparing to get whatever was inside that safe without opening it. Using magic. I'm gonna come back to you on that one, hold on. My cape got caught on a safe, you see. This all happened when I was hiding Mr. Bullet's body.
What was that? Back up a second. Back it up, back it up. Beep, 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 beep. Man, are you cray-cray?
Yes? A tiny bit? I mean, there is a reason why I'm here at the witness stand.
You were the one that hid the body in the safe?
Well, yeah.
Inconceivable! Why? Just why? What reason could you have? What were you thinking? I couldn't even know. I mean, this is just, it's just... It's most unorthodox.
Uh-oh. There he goes with his old man meltdown. I think that this is I think we broke his circuits in his head.
Question. When does someone toss their dirty shorts in the washing machine? The answer is simple. When they take them off. As usual, I have no idea what you're saying.
Do you mean that Mr. Delight hid the body because he's the murderer?
Ha! So you're not as stupid as you look.
His method this time was really obscure.
Mr. Wright, you don't mean that you knew about this whole safe business, do you?
Well, yes. A little bit. You're going to kill me, aren't you?
You bet your ass I ain't gonna kill you! Witness, make sure you add this to the testimony.
Yes, sir. Man, the judge is extra angry today.
Uh-oh. Looks like a storm front is moving in over the fair weather judge.
I painted and hid the body in the safe. It took about 10 minutes. Why did you hide the body in the safe anyway? Well, because it won't fit in a drawer. That's not exactly what I meant, goddammit. When I saw that corpse, I kind of lost it. I thought, if they find his corpse, they'll think I did it. Huh. I think you had a simpler reason than that. It's because you killed him. That's why you spent 10 minutes hiding the body. That certainly makes more sense. Ugh. Hold on. 10 minutes?
What is it, Nick?
I just had a thought. Under those circumstances, would you normally try to hide the body? What do you mean? And spend 10 whole minutes to do it?
Under those circumstances? What circumstances? Oh! Hey, Nick, if you think his behavior was so strange, I want you to present some evidence that would show just what those circumstances were.
And that's it. I'll take a look at the court record and present some evidence. Okay, circumstances. Some evidence for that, for those circumstances that he's talking about. Oh, okay. I think I get what Nick is trying to say here. If Rhonda Light was the killer and tried to hide the body, like everyone else thinks it's the case, then why would he push the emergency button in the first place? Nah. Instead, what happened is, Rhonda Light passed out, the true killer turned on the emergency buzzer in the hopes that the security would find Rhonda Light at the scene of the crime. I mean, that's the reason why the emergency buzzer just opened at the, turned on at that point. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I mean, luckily it did not happen. Like, Rhonda Light was not caught at the scene of the crime because of because of Larry Butt. He was somewhere else. Like, Rhonda Light managed to vanish in time, just like that. Alright, I think I'm getting it.
We heard this from Mr. Light yesterday, didn't we?
There's not much in this testimony either.
I bet you he's still hiding something.
I wouldn't be surprised. We'll just have to draw it out of him.
I just hope he doesn't make things any more complicated.
Unless... wait, hold on a second. Wait a minute. Rhonda Light is telling us that he hid the body, like, in the safe though. When? After he woke up, I would assume. Nah, I think that we're on the right track over here. Let me see. I mean, I think I know what we're supposed to do here, but I don't know. Like, we're definitely gonna have to present that emergency buzzer, but on what? Like, could it be on this? Like, cause these people are thinking that Ron killed Kane Bullard, that he did not fall unconscious because of the hit. They think that Ron the Light came in, killed Kane Bullard, and then just left. They don't believe in the whole fact that he fell unconscious or something like that. In which case, if they are to think of it that way, then he would have no reason to push the button in the first place. And if the button was pushed, he definitely wouldn't have stayed there. And it took him like 10 minutes to hide the body. He would have no reason to push the button like at all. Like, maybe you can argue that he would push the button after he left, so that, I don't know, the police would find the body at that point, but I'm sure that the job would have been done anyway, that somebody would find the body and they would discover that he was dead at 1 a.m., so I don't think it was necessary for Ron the Light to push the button anyway, if he truly wanted that. No, you know what? This is all a bunch of bullcocky. Let me see about presenting this. I don't know if this is actually gonna do the job, but let's see. Your Honor, could you please take a look at this record? I mean, you know what? This should be really lovely. And speaking of the magic spell that Ron could have used on the safe, as I mentioned before, here I have a jar with my pit bug Kameko inside. Watch, as I'm gonna make Kameko appear outside the jar without even opening it. And what might this be? The record for the emergency buzzer that connects the CEO's office to security. If the button in the office is pressed, the security team is supposed to come running. And according to his record, the buzzer was pushed once, at 1:02 a.m.
What?
If Mr. Rondelite truly was the murderer, he would have ran as soon as that buzzer sounded. Ka-zing! After all, a security guard would have been heading his way.
Objection! Ha! Let's remember who we're dealing with here.
Oh, no reaction from Gado? It's okay. I would have a much better one next time.
He probably had no idea there were security personnel in the building.
Up until 1 year ago, my client was working as a chief of security. There's no way he wouldn't have known about them.
Objection! But, as it turns out, the guard never came.
That was nothing more than a coincidence. The fact that the guard was a pathetic loser, who had just gotten punched in the face by his ex's new boyfriend. Ouch. And wasn't anywhere in the vicinity was not something Mr. Delight could have known.
Objection! Ha! Again, remember who we're dealing with here. It's a sure bet that Mr. Delight didn't even notice the buzzer going off.
I mean, he's not that stupid to not notice it. This buzzed extremely loud. There is no way he could have ignored something like that. If he had been conscious, that is.
Conscious? What do you mean by that? Fine. Let's hear your theory.
Recall the defendant's testimony. The moment that he entered the victim's office, someone attacked him. Mr. Delight said he felt dazed. I'm willing to wager that he was knocked unconscious for at least a few minutes.
Unconscious? So he fainted?
That's why Mr. Delight didn't know that the buzzer had sounded. And that's why he thought he had time to hide the body.
So what are you trying to say?
Mr. Delight was knocked out, and the buzzer went off soon afterwards. Now, unless my client was able to hit the buzzer while he was unconscious, it can only mean that there was another person in our room.
That's right. Whoever it was, they knocked out Ron the Light and then pressed the buzzer! Order in the court. Mr. Wright, this is... Objection! This is preposterous! It was this kid!
Man, Gata, you're smoking. Your head is about to explode. I mean, I am no stranger to that.
Ron the Light is the one who killed Kane Bullard.
Then who pressed the buzzer?
It was... the victim, of course.
Nah, your brain is short-circuiting, Mr. Gato. How can you say that the victim, the one that died, pressed the button?
Unless he was... an undead? He pressed the buzzer when the defendant attacked. He didn't die right away. He must have held on long enough to push that button.
Oof. Kada, why are you so angry?
So Kane Bullard sounded the buzzer himself. What is your opinion on this, Mr. Wright?
I need to prove that the real criminal was there at the scene. But how? Can I prove that it wasn't Kane Bullard who sounded the buzzer? Oh, I can prove it alright. It's because Kane Bullard was secretly an undead skeleton. And we know that skeletons don't leave any fingerprints. Cousin!
The defense's opinion is this, Your Honor.
This piece of evidence proves that it wasn't the victim who sounded the buzzer. Yeah, you know what? There you go. Let me see. It says somewhere like right over here. Yep, there are no fingerprints on it. I believe this is a piece of incontrovertible. I believe this is a piece of incontrovertible. I believe this is the piece of uncontrovertible. I believe this is the piece of uncontroversible. I believe this is the piece of incontrovertible evidence we're looking for. Jesus, that word is hard.
The emergency buzzer? Is there some kind of clue on it?
Absolutely not.
Hey, come on now. At least give some thought to what you say before you opening your mouth.
And the fact that there are absolutely no clues is itself the clue.
No, I'm the one who's clueless. I am clueless. I'm all out of clues.
This button has no fingerprints on it. If Mr. Bullet had really pressed it himself, naturally, he would have left his fingerprint behind! Heading! Get wrecked, yo!
Run the light. Obviously wipe them off.
Why would he? A guard could have come in at any point, at any moment.
He touched that button. I know he did.
The defendant, Mr. Delight, was dressed as Mass the Mask. And Mass the Mask always wears gloves. What reason could he possibly have had to wipe the button free of fingerprints?
Order! 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 Ha! He would seem. I've been forced to eat crow.
You know, Mr. Gato, I think that it is you who should pay attention to how your coffee is before you drink it. Otherwise, you're gonna end up spitting it out, just like you did before.
I wonder what blend number crow flavored coffee is.
Can't say. But if it's like the crows, the licorice flavored gumdrops, I can definitely see where he's coming from.
However, if the real killer was there at the scene, why would a person press the emergency buzzer? Shouldn't they have run away without putting themselves in extra danger? What's with this awkward silence all of a sudden? Huh. It looks like you're fresh out of parlor tricks.
Excuse me? It's royal magic! For that, your next coffee is gonna be cursed with the taste of rotten bananas.
They're on to you, Nick.
Just give me a minute to collect my thoughts, goddammit! Ah! The real culprit killed Mr. Ballard at around 1 AM, right? And Mr. Delight just happened to waltz in when the murder was taking place, right? The killer clobbered Mr. Delight, and then sounded the buzzer.
Even though security was supposed to respond right away if the buzzer was pressed.
Security was supposed to respond.
Time's up, Mr. Wright. Let's hear what you have to say.
Very well then.
Oh, you got guts. I like that in an opponent. Why did the real killer sound the emergency buzzer? Emergency buzzer? Oh my.
Well, it's very simple, Your Honor. It is because the killer wanted to see what the button did. For all we know, it could have summoned a giant steel samurai Gundam to save the world against alien forces. That's what the emergency button did. In all probability, the killer didn't know what the button was for. What do you mean? The killer probably thought, I wonder what this does, and pressed it to find out. Oh, that's exactly how I make a lot of my mistakes too.
Objection!
Is there a functioning brain underneath all that ridiculous hair, Mr. Wright? Nah. I bet that his hair extends to even inside his skull. His brain is 95% hair at this point. Ugh! You know, no matter what you tell me, I'm not gonna change my hairstyle. I ain't gonna keep it for the rest of the series and you're gonna like it! The panel around the button is labeled quite clearly. It says, Emergency Butter.
No!
Let me guess. Maybe next you'll want to claim this mysterious killer was illiterate. Ugh. One more time. I gotta calm down and think quick. Why did the killer sound the emergency button? Alright. Obviously he was to call the security. That way Ron the Light would be caught at the scene of the crime as the criminal, while the real killer ran away. The killer knew that if they pressed that button, a guard would come running. And that was exactly what they wanted. Sneaky. But we managed to solve this problem. All peachy.
Do you mean to say the killer called guard on purpose?
Yes. Although as it turned out, he never showed up.
Because he was getting his... I was about to say something really dirty there. His clock cleaned at the time.
Huh. What a touching story. You're saying the killer had a change of heart and called the guard to turn himself in? No, I'm not. When that butter sounded, there were 3 people in that office. The victim, Kane Bullard, who was already dead. The defendant, Ron the Light, who was all cold. And the 3rd person, the real killer. Hypothetically, yes. Now then, in this situation, if the real killer made an escape, what would happen? The only ones left in the room would be the victim and Ron the Light. And if any security guards came running in at the time, they would think that I was the murderer. Yes, that was precisely the real killer's objective. To frame Ron the Light for the murder. Ah, see? Now your coffee tastes like rotten bananas. Boy, I remember... I remember one year when I left my banana in my backpack, like the entire summer, like after school. When the school year ended. And when school started again in fall, my backpack smelled badly of rotten bananas. Like, ugh. I have to say, that was like the most disgusting smell I ever experienced in my life. You do not want to smell that.
Order!
Ha! Good same. I've been made to eat my words once again.
Actually, you've been made to do a spit take. And a cup of coffee.
Mr. Wright, who was it? Who was it that tried to frame me? Wait. Wait a second. I'm the one in only master mask, so...
Nick, you mean the real killer is...
Alright. It's time to start the Danganronpa song of the year. Dun 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 dun, and choose our killer. We're going to drag that person in here right now.
But who is it?
I don't have any solid proof yet, but think about it. The killer knew Mr. Delight's identity, and they also knew that he had been called to KB security that night. So the killer used him to execute a well-crafted plan to murder Kane Bullard. Now then, let's hear your accusation, Mr. Wright. Who was it that framed Mr. Ron Delight for the murder of Kane Bullard? Alright, well, let's bring him once again, boys. When we're gonna cross-examine and look at me again, I'm gonna reveal to the entire world the best magic spell I ever thought of. Just you wait. Detective, look at me. He's the only one who could have done it. Ace Detective. Look at me. You mean Master Mass did it? Your Honor, the person being tried in the court next to us is not Master Mask at all. He is, in actuality, the true murderer of Kane Bullard!
Order! Order! Mr. Wright, explain yourself.
Theft and murder. Which is the more serious crime?
They're not even close. Murder is the more serious crime, of course. It's a capital crime subject to a capital punishment.
Please remember the trial from yesterday, if you would. When Look At Me confessed, there was a huge commotion in the courtroom.
Of course, a famous detective was unmasked as, well, Masty Mask.
Instead of being convicted of murder, he was found guilty of grand larceny. That was his true objective all along. He hid himself as the thief so that he wouldn't be accused of murder, using his fake alibi of being Masty Mask.
To be found guilty.
Masty Mask had the perfect alibi for when the murder took place. He was stealing the urn that Lordly Taylor. In other words, being found guilty as Masty Mask was Look At Me's airtight, watertight, and unassailable alibi, and not to mention unshippable.
A guilty verdict. As an alibi? You know, it's almost time. For what? For Look At Me's verdict. It was a pretty simple trial after all. If we're going to stop this trial and stall that one, we need to do it now. Of course. And that's assuming we have proof that the victim was the one who committed the murder. Mr. Look At Me's trial has indeed attracted the attention of the entire country. If it were to intrude, and fail to provide adequate proof of his crime if his true crime, Mr. Delight would be left with no grounds for appeal.
Are you sure about this?
Ha! A bet's only good when your life's the ante.
Mr. Wright, I believe in you.
Mr. Delight.
So please. I'm begging you!
Thanks, but my decision will determine the rest of your life.
Which isn't really new, to be quite honest. Many people's lives in the past depended on us.
Can I really risk your life like this?
Phoenix.
What was that?
Don't stray, Phoenix. For your client, take the path of trust. Use the Force, Phoenix.
You just love doing that every time.
I cannot help it.
That voice. It sounds like...
Mia!
Your Honor, the defense requests an immediate recess. So that's your answer, huh? Very well. I'll decide it as well. This court will now take a 20-minute recess. It is tea time. For me to relax. I mean, Jesus, this child may be angry all of a sudden. Mr. Wright, When we return, please summon Mr. Look at me to the set.
Yes, Your Honor. October 13, 11:58 a.m. District Court. Courtroom number 5.
Well, Sir Detective Adme. I have to say, Mr. Payne, you performed splendidly. Oh no, Sir Detective Adme. You are the one who...
That's enough. Whoa!
Who the fuck are you? The judge, did you just go 50 years back in time? This court sees no reason to further prolong this trial. And this court finds the defendant. Look at me.
Wait! Don't hand down your verdict yet! Please!
Well, well, subtle lawyer. Welcome to my courtroom. And hello there, Mr. Noby Grand. Mr. Cobblepot?
Who's this hoser, eh?
Hey, I'm not a hoser, guy.
I'm not your guy, fam.
I'm not your fam, friend.
I'm not your friend, buddy. I'm not your buddy, dude.
Alright, let's get the show running. My name is Phoenix Wright, attorney at law. And I wish to file an accusation against this man. Look at me. Accusation? You accuse Masty Mask. That man is not Masty Mask. He is just a ruthless murderer.
What?